Well, and then some people, I believe, use food to stabilize themselves.
Of course.
Using food in the way of, "I'm not gonna use it, and that stabilizes me," or, "I'm going to use it in a certain way, or I'm going to overuse it." But it's the use of food.
It's not just some people, it's all of us, right? We are hardwired to do this. Think of your first experience on the planet as an infant, and you're in distress. You're given either the breast or the bottle, and you go, you get to peace, right?
Mhm.
So from the very beginning, we are hardwired to use food to regulate when things are feeling too chaotic. The problem is when we don't develop other ways so that it becomes a one trick pony. And the only way we know how to regulate ourselves is by eating or not eating. So that's when it becomes problematic. But we all do it to one degree or another.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because, yes, I was thinking in terms of disordered eating, but you're right. I mean, even my animals do it, right? I've been a pet owner for years and I've seen that happen. And
Mhm,
yeah, we do all do it. But what you said
mhm.
is the problem, and I wish you'd repeat that because you worded it so eloquently. Is when we don't. You said when we don't use other skills.
Exactly. So that's what happens is that that's the one skill we have, and we're not developing these other skills. And it's a real thing, right? It's like we just had Thanksgiving. What happens when you have that big meal and you go, "Oh, okay, now," right? So our bodies are designed to respond in that way, but we forget that there are other ways to get there. There are other ways to get that sense of peace and harmony. There's lots of other ways, but we are not taught that. And so we turn to, I mean, think of, for example, think of being in nature. Nature does that for us, right? That's why we go to the beach. That's why we go hiking. That's why we go for walks in the woods. That's why we go to the park. That's why we lie in the sun. It's like our bodies respond to the particular harmonic in nature. And so instinctively, we know we can feel more at peace.
Well, even getting out of a room that has a computer in it that you're answering emails and just simply stepping out of the room can be helpful sometimes. But again, like you said, some people don't know to do that. But the just
Mhm,
like the eye of the storm,
mhm.
it's right there. You just have to know that it's there
And
and then you
recognize it,
access it.
right? You have to recognize peace, harmony. They have a particular vibrational frequency that our minds may not recognize it, but our bodies do.
Mm.
And so once you start to recognize what that is for you, and it's different for each of us. For example, I have these flowers over here. I always have flowers in my room. Why? Because I've recognized there's something that happens for me with color and nature. And you put those two together and it calms my nervous system. So that's an example of how we can find for ourselves what helps us align with that particular energetic constellation, you call it, of peace or harmony or calm or content.
So the chaos will happen when we disconnect from our authentic selves and we go to other means, the only means that we are taught, possibly food, and this is something we do anyway.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
then disorder happens. And I think it's an interesting thing to dive into is
Yeah.
the definition of chaos itself is disorder,
Right,
confusion, throwing us off balance.
right,
And we go to disordered eating at times because we're seeking order.
right.
It's a
Totally
paradox. It's like almost a quadruple paradox when you
right,
think
right, right. Because we're seeking order outside of ourselves, not letting it in.